Test. There. Good morning. Hi, and welcome to Marshall United Methodist Church. My name is Pastor Erin. I'm delighted to see you today for our Vacation Bible School celebration. I think the kids have me almost out of a job for this welcome and announcements time. Last week, they celebrated Father's Day with us, and this week it's VBS. So we're so glad that you're here. We want to celebrate and acknowledge the wonderful week that we had under Maddie Martinson's leadership. And we want to make sure that as we worship today, we notice the themes and the scripture passages and the theology that we're teaching our amazing kids. We also want to make sure that you all stay after church, because as you leave our north entrance right over here, there's going to be a bounce house, there's going to be an ice cream truck, and we're going to have a commissioning for our community garden. So please stay for the fun after church and enjoy this amazing worship service where we highlight our kids. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Please stand for our opening song, Alive. I was dead in my transgressions, wandering in sin. I went searching for redemption, down a road that had no end. I was walking through the fire, I was leaving on the run, with my flesh lost in desire. I was drowning in the flood, but God, rich in mercy, you came to save me. Now I'm alive. But God, strong and mighty, you reached down for me so I could rise. Now I'm alive. I am far from being that I have lived. I have fallen short of glory. I can't make it on my own. If you kept record of my past, I'd be sinking like a stone. But God, rich in mercy, you came to save me. Now I'm alive. But God, strong and mighty, you reached out for me so I could rise. Now I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I was in the grave, but God, you called me out. Now I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I was in the grave, but God, you called me out. But God, rich in mercy, you came to save me. Now I'm alive. My God, strong and mighty, you reached down for me so I could rise. Now I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I was in the grave, but God, you called me out. Now I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. I was in the grave, but God, you called me out. Now I'm alive. And join us in our next song, Unstoppable God.
Clap with me. Clap with me. Come on now. Here we go. Heaven, thunder, Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, it shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, it shall be done. Don't we serve a wonderful Lord? Clap it up for me if we serve a wonderful Lord. Let's go. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Nothing shall be impossible. Your kingdom reigns unstoppable. We'll shout your praise forevermore. Jesus, our God, unstoppable. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, it shall be done. Unstoppable God, let your glory go on and on. Impossible things in your name, it shall be done. Woo!
Hello, hello, friends. You all know what that music means, right? It's Kids Moment time. And today is a very special Kids Moment because we're celebrating VBS. How many of you were at VBS? Raise your hand. Yeah, a lot of you. So if you came to VBS, and if you're a kid who didn't go to VBS, you're welcome to come down because we're gonna show the church what we learned this week. And I want to start off by asking you a few questions, okay? So my friends, I'll ask these questions as my other friends come down. But does anyone remember, can anyone tell me what our theme at VBS was this year? Evan Brown. Go ahead. I'm using this mic, yeah. Gardening. Is it on? Okay, now it is. Say it again.
Gardening.
There we go. Yes, gardening. We had a community garden theme, as you can tell from all of my tools and all of my giant produce and everything. Now I have another question. Does anyone remember one of the key phrases that we talked about at VBS? Corlin.
I have something to shout about.
I have something to shout about. Yes. Give me another. Aiden.
I have something to share.
I have something to share. And Jimmy?
I need my people.
That's right. I need my people. Well done. Give them a round of applause, guys, for remembering. They did a good job. They've been out of VBS for about a week and a half, and they still remember. That's great. I'm very happy about that. Now, here's what I thought we would do. Hey, friends, will you come out from under the altar, please? Perfect. We are going to share with the church one of the songs that we learned. Do you guys want to do that with me? Yeah? All right, I need you guys to stand up, and here's what's going to happen. The video for our theme song is going to be on the back screen, so I want everyone to turn around. I'm going to stand right here, and I'm going to be doing the motion, so you can either look at me or you can look at the screen. Let's make sure everyone can see, so let's spread out a little bit. All right, taller kids in the back, shorter kids in the front. Perfect. And church, you're welcome to dance along with us. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun song. All right. And Rob's going to lead us as well. Come on, stand up, Michael. I would love for you to do it, even if you didn't go to VBS. It's very easy to follow, friends. All right? Let's do it. You ready, Rob?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Ready? Good job, my friends. I promise they weren't as shy at VBS, you guys. All right. Thank you so much for helping me. I'm going to call you up later in the service to help me with another song, so prepare yourselves. All right. Go have a seat, everyone. Thank you for coming up, friends.
All my people come together, singing and dancing, clapping hands. And I know that they're my people, 'cause they love me for who I am. We all need someone to lean on. We all need a helping hand. We all
we didn't have any fun at all, you guys. Well, good morning. For those of you who may not know who I am Maddie Martinson, but today I am Gardner Maddie instead of your discipleship director. And I'm here to tell you about the wonderful week of VBS that we had just about a week and a half ago. Feels like forever ago, but it was just yesterday. I was joined by nearly 30 awesome kiddos of all ages, from age 2 to 11, and we had just as many volunteers who helped both behind the scenes and out in the front. And that included 3 wonderful teams who served a meal every evening of Vacation Bible School. My appreciation for all those involved, whether it was behind the scenes or out with the kids, is deep and wide. And you know who you are, and I hope that you feel my genuine thanks. It would not be possible without your volunteer support, and I'm so grateful that we do have that support to help sustain this ministry year after year. That said, today we are celebrating all things VBS. So today I'm going to walk us through everything that we learned in community just a few weeks ago. Just like me, VBS is a wonderful theme, and our goal this year was to celebrate ourselves as the exact people as God made us to be. As you probably heard from the lyrics from that song that the kids were so shy to perform for you, Just Like Me, VBS focuses on the simple truth that we are all uniquely made in God's image, and we're specially equipped to serve God and one another. Throughout the week, we learned through games, stories, music, crafts, and about how we can lean into our identity and as beloved children of God, and do all that we can to all the people that we can. Throughout the week, we also met a few of my friends who are a part of my community garden, and they taught us what it's like to be a part of a community. Not just any community, but the church community, where all of us are called children of God. This morning, I'd like to introduce you to these friends of mine, characters who help sustain the community garden, and each of them bring their unique, wonderful selves without any hesitation. Each of my friends carries a tool with them that they use in the garden, and these tools served as reminders of the daily themes that we learned at VBS. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. On our first day of Vacation Bible School, Tuesday evening, we met my friend Mateo. Now, church, every time we met a new friend, I asked the kids to help greet my friend in such a way. So I want to ask you this morning to do the same with me. So to greet Mateo, we're going to say, "Hola, Mateo," on the count of 3. Sound good? All right. 1, 2, 3. Hola, Mateo. Mateo taught us the importance of using our voices. You heard the theme of "I have something to shout about" from one of our kids this morning. Mateo teaches us the importance of using our voices, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Mateo's story is relatable to many kids, as he has dyslexia and has a hard time reading the words on a page because all the letters and words get jumbled up in his head. At first, he was embarrassed about this learning disability that he had, but his teacher noticed one day that he was having trouble and encouraged him that he wasn't the only one. He eventually learned that his disability was nothing to be ashamed about, and he found the courage to ask for help when he needed it in the classroom and at home. Mateo not only used his voice for himself, but he also advocates for his classmates. You see, many of Mateo's classmates are not English speakers by birth. They speak Spanish primarily. So Mateo helps translate between the students and the teachers when there is a misunderstanding or the directions aren't as clear as they could be. Mateo makes his school and his community a better place by using his gifts and his voice. Paired with Mateo's story, we learned the story of Bartimaeus on our first day of VBS. Bartimaeus was a blind man who sat at the side of the road for a large portion of his daily life. And he desperately wanted to be healed, and he tried to grab the attention of many. With the assistance of our skilled and experienced storytellers, the children acted out the Bible stories every day, and they got to firsthand see and experience what it was like to perhaps be ignored or to ignore somebody who was using their voice. They learned that Bartimaeus used his voice to express his need, but Jesus, the person of Jesus, was the only one who listened and validated his faith by healing him and granting him his deepest desire. In that sense, our kids learned that it's not just important to use our voices to name our needs, but it's also important to listen to those around us. This concept of self-advocacy is something that we don't often see in VBS curriculum, at least in my experience, but I appreciate its inclusion in such an explicit manner in this year's curriculum. Elementary age students in the year 2024, my friends, engage in a curriculum called SEL, or Social Emotional Learning. In these classes and in these lessons, our kids are taught to practice the basics of relationship building. They practice social and self-awareness and responsible decision-making. And they do this so that they can build a firm foundation as they develop to become emotionally regulated human beings. That is the hope. I myself have some memories of learning these sorts of things when I was about the age of these children, and I sometimes wondered why it was included in school. But as an adult, now I know. I completely understand. Furthermore, I've come to believe as a Christian that our spirituality is deeply intertwined with our social and emotional well-being. God created us to be emotional beings. And I think that if we're not taking good care of our bodies and our minds, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We're disconnecting from our Creator, and we are not fulfilling our needs that God simply designed us to have. God desires for our needs to be met, and He gives us the agency to do something about it, even if that's simply lifting our voice. To encourage our kids to use their own voices, everybody received a megaphone to take home with them on the first day of VBS. I'm so sorry, parents. Hopefully they only used it for one night and then they got bored of it. But we had a lot of fun testing out these megaphones. We would shout out loud on our megaphones and we'd whisper to see what it sounded like. But Mateo also carries around a megaphone. So this symbolized not only Mateo's story, but it reminded us that we too have something to shout about, and we can make our needs and our wants known to others, just like Bartimaeus did. Moving on to day 2. On day 2, we again shared a meal at the beginning of our time together, but this isn't the first meal that we would engage with that evening. After practicing our theme song and reviewing our themes from the previous day, we met a new friend. This is Kay. All right, we're going to do the same thing. So on the count of 3, friends, we're going to say, "Hey, Kay." All right? 1, 2, 3. Hey, Kay. Thank you so much for indulging me. This is wonderful. Kay and her family attend a local church. And a few years ago, one of their church friends became ill. Kay was sad to hear this news and thought that their friend might need some cheering up. How nice of her. But Kay thought to herself, what can I do? Kay's mom noticed that she was struggling to come up with an idea, so she pointed Kay to the kitchen and pointed out a couple of basic ingredients that they had in their cupboard and in their fridge: eggs, flour, sugar, and butter. So with a little help from a recipe and from her mom, Kay made some cookies to deliver to that ill neighbor. This was a fulfilling experience for Kay, and she loved the joyful face that her friend had once she received these homemade goods that were so filled with love. Today, Kay now has dreams to open up her own bakery and to share her love with as many people as possible. In congruence with the theme of the day, I have something to share. Every kid received a basket, just like Kay's. These baskets are a little on the smaller side. They're kid-sized, they're fun-sized. And I challenged the kids to start thinking about, what can you put in your basket? What is something you can put in this basket, not for you to keep, but for you to share with the world? What is something that you can share? Some of the responses included toys and food and clothes. And I challenged them to keep thinking about it as the day progressed. The answer began to take some formation as we learned the story of the day, and that was the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. It's a story that many of us are familiar with, and the main point of that story is often focused on the divine miracle, where Jesus multiplies a little bit into a lot, enough to feed more than 5,000 people with some leftovers to spare. The focus in our retelling of the story was not just on that divine miracle, but also in the small everyday miracle of the little boy who brought his 2 fishes and 5 loaves to the table. And that one act enabled something amazing to occur. Again, our storytellers did a wonderful job of conveying this to the kids, and with some help from Schulers donating some bread to us, we were able to multiply a small amount into a lot. The same is true with what we have to bring to the table. Something that we might find small or insignificant can be used in big ways. Something that we think might not be that important is important to God, and it can be used to serve all God's people. So when we gathered again at the end of the day, after games and crafts and story, I asked the question to the kids, what else could you fit in your basket? I still received a lot of the same answers: food, toys, and clothing, which are all wonderful things that we're able to share. And in fact, they're things that we already are sharing here at MUMC. Our kids are seeing the way that There's Enough and the fresh food distribution are giving away items that people need in their darkest times. And I'm very proud of the way that we are able to model that every day, and that is the immediate answer that our kids have. Another child shared that we can share love. And isn't that the truth? We can share our love. The truth is, just about anything can be shared. Even the things that are abstract and maybe difficult to comprehend at times, we can share our whole selves with the world and with those around us. And it's my hope that as our children who attended VBS this year continue to grow and mature in Christ, they'll discover more about themselves. They'll understand who they are and what they have to bring. We can share our personalities, our gifts, our talents, our time, our presence, so many different things. And all of these are gifts that we are called to share with God and with one another. Here at MUMC, like I mentioned, I see examples every day of how you all are sharing your gifts, whether that's through your time, through your presence, through just your community. And I hope that we can continue to model that sharing of our gifts to our young people. Even if it's a small gift, our children are learning to say to themselves, I have something to share with the world as well. And I'm so excited to see what those things might be. Finally, we move on to day 3. We had a 3-day VBS this year. So to end our time in community, we learned what it means to be part of community. And on day 3, we met my friend Kofi. All right, one more time, church. On the count of 3, we're gonna say, What's up, Kofi? Sound good? 1, 2, 3. What's up, Kofi? Kofi, as you might be able to tell with his tool belt and his gloves, loves to lend a helping hand. Kofi knows what it's like to need a little bit of help sometimes. So when he sees others around him needing help, he has a strong desire to fill in and to meet those needs. Kofi is a vital part of the community garden, and he's willing to do just about anything to serve his neighbors. One time, Kofi even helped build a chicken coop for the garden. So, let it be known, church, if Pastor Aaron someday comes to staff and says, I want to build a chicken coop, I'm going to defer to Kofi. It's not impossible, let me say. Our Bible story on day 3, centering around the theme of I need my people, again taught us the importance of community. In the book of 2 Kings, there is a story of a poor widow who needs some help from her community. Prior to where the story picks up, we learn that the woman's husband has recently passed away, and it's revealed that he owed a significant amount of money to another man. Now, the man who was owed the debt is threatening to take the woman's children away if that debt is not repaid. Pretty dire situation. So, in her distress, the widow goes to the prophet Elisha, and Elisha advises her to sell all that she can in order to make the payment. That would be great advice, except that the woman only has a small jar of oil, not very big, and it probably wouldn't sell for much, certainly not enough to cover the expenses that were owed. So Elisha continues on to say, go to your neighbors, collect as many jars as possible, and fill those jars with oil from your one jar that you own. Then, surely, you will have enough money to pay your husband's debts. I imagine that the woman was a little skeptical, but she did as she was advised. The widow and her children went to their neighbors, they collected as many jars as possible, and miraculously, that little jar of oil became abundant enough to fill each and every jar up to the brim. Pardon me. Again, the miracle was not just in the multiplying of the goods, the multiplication of that oil, but the miracle also exists in the neighbors relying on one another and serving one another in the woman's time of need. We're not told explicitly if the woman shared her exact circumstances with her neighbors, but I think either way, her neighbors were still willing and able to part with some of their belongings to help a woman who was so obviously in need. Being part of a community means to have a servant heart and to lend a helping hand at times. We, as disciples of Christ, know the importance of the church community. The church is a place of fellowship, belonging, and at times for many, it's a place where needs can be met. Some of the needs are the ones that I have already named: food, clothing, toys, and so much more. I'm reminded of the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. There certainly was a village needed to make VBS possible, and it takes a village to continue to have a sustainable children and youth ministry, and I'm grateful. I also believe that it takes a village to grow into who God made us to be, even well into our adulthood. The village does not stop once you reach that milestone. Each of us need people. We need people to surround us, to support us, to love, to care for us, to walk alongside us when the going gets tough, and to celebrate when things are amazing and worth celebrating. The people who we choose to surround ourselves with have great influence on our lives. Even when we don't find ourselves in the midst of crisis, our village is ready to love, care, and support us in all of life's twists and turns, using their unique gifts and abilities. So, to remind ourselves of this idea, every kid received a pair of gardening gloves. They're adorable, you guys. They're so small and cute. Every child received a pair of gloves, just like Kofi. Kofi carries around a pair of gardening gloves with him all the time. While these are certainly a reminder that we too can lend a helping hand like Kofi, it's also a reminder, as we looked around the room and everybody else had a pair of gloves on, that there is a community surrounding us that is also ready to help us when we need it. God desires for us to have that community and to rely on that community when we need it. And it is in that community that we best love God and love one another. So that was basically our week. But I want to tie some things together before I wrap things up. I believe that Vacation Bible School is all about discovery, connection, and all the while we're having fun. We're not only connecting with God, but we're connecting with each other, and we're learning more about ourselves and who God is. This year's emphasis with the Just Like Me theme, the emphasis on community is a great reminder to us all that we're all beloved children of God. God desires for each of us to live as our authentic selves, to use our God-given gifts to serve God and neighbor, and to experience God's amazing love and grace through our community, one of which we call the church. VBS is all about delivering these lessons of faith in a kid-friendly way. And it's my prayer that we, as the grown-ups in their lives, can watch as these children hold these truths to heart. And we can be great witnesses as they continue to navigate life in faith and hold on to these truths, that they are beloved, that they bring something special, and that they can serve God's people. After service today, the celebration continues. Of course, the community garden theme of VBS is very fitting, as we recently launched our own community garden here at MUMC. So hopefully, kids, maybe you can use those garden gloves to help in the garden sometime this summer. But if you're not able to, that's okay. There will be many opportunities throughout your life where you are able to share your whole self with those who really need it. Share your whole being, share your gifts with those around you, and may we all continue to grow into the people God made us to be, and may we be ready to serve God and neighbor with our whole selves. Just like me is who I want to be, because God made me for who I am. Will you pray with me? Loving Creator, we are so grateful for the ministry of Vacation Bible School. We are grateful for the nearly 30 children who were able to join us, able to play with us, to learn with us, and to learn and grow to love you even more. Thank you for making each of us exactly as we are. Help us to have grace for ourselves. So, in times when we feel like we are unlovable, we are reminded that you call us loved, and that we, too, bring something valuable to this world that you have brought us to. We ask that we all continue to grow and to mature and to learn more about ourselves and about our world, to find the places where we can each find a place where we can serve, where our greatest passions and our greatest gifts meet the world's greatest needs. We ask that as our children continue to enjoy their summer vacation, that you would be with them, that you would remind them that they too are beloved, that they too bring something special, wherever they go, wherever they may be. This morning, we are grateful for our community garden. We are so grateful for the volunteer help that has made this possible in such a short amount of time. Like many of the ministries that we have here at MUMC, we are so excited to see the fruits of our labor as many of us serve in the garden by watering, weeding, harvesting. And we are most looking forward, God, to seeing the impact that this community garden has on our community. We ask that each and every person who receives something from the garden truly feels the magnitude of your love and your grace, and that through each produce item that they may receive, they see the goodness and your love. This morning, oh God, we are excited to celebrate VBS even more. We ask that you keep us safe, that you keep us in community, that we're able to fellow with one another, and that we can really take to heart what this community means to you and to your people. As members of your community, we are reminded of the prayer that Jesus taught us. And now in one voice, we say that prayer together, the Lord's Prayer, saying, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen."
And now it's time for our morning offering. For, do you know the? You do. She's so much better on her feet than I am.
Hi.
Hey, there we go.
I forgot the order of worship for a sec. It's fine. I'm back on stage. So this morning, we want to invite you to engage in our morning offering and to partner with us in ministry here at MUMC. There are wonderful things going on here outside of VBS and our community garden, and your financial gifts support all of this good work. We ask you to give generously as we worship God together. If you're new to this great room setting, I know that we have a joint service here this morning. You may be unfamiliar with our rituals here, but we do have an offering box in the back of the great room, similar to how we have it in the sanctuary. And as always, you can give online by visiting our webpage, umcmarshall.org, or by scanning the QR code that are nearby you, either on the signs or on the connection cards in your folders. I want to offer a special reminder that, yes, next week we are beginning to transition out of VBS and into Blessing of the Backpacks. If you're unaware, Blessing of the Backpacks is our annual back-to-school ministry where we collect hundreds of backpacks and all of the school supplies that kids of all ages might need. And then at the Calhoun County Fair in August, we will be giving those backpacks filled with supplies away to anyone who needs it. We'll be giving those away on Children's Day, which I believe is Tuesday of the fair. So we have a couple months to collect things, but next week we'll have some more specifics set out for you to begin thinking about those back-to-school sales and things that you might be able to purchase. So be on the lookout. It'll be out in the great hallway, kind of where the current garden display is. You'll see a change starting next week. Yeah.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Fantastic. Now, at this time, I would love for the kids to come on back up because we're going to perform our other song, All My People, before we dismiss. Sound good? Here they come. Oh, here we go. Hey, you guys. Would you guys prefer to face that screen, or would you prefer to face the church? I'll give you the choice. You can either face that screen or you can face the church.
But if you look at the screen, you got to look at me too.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey.
sorry. Thanks so much, you guys. I think you guys like that song a little better than the first one. Is that right? Yeah. Before we head out to enjoy and continue our VBS celebration, I want to remind you of a couple of things. I'm going to take a sip of water first before I do that. Tomorrow, Monday, June 24th, MUMC has the great honor and privilege of hosting an event called Embrace, an LGBTQ plus panel where some members of the queer community are going to be here to answer some questions. The community is invited. You can ask your questions, and we'll have a lovely conversation about some of the stories, the struggles, and the triumphs of what it means to be in the LGBTQ plus community. We hope you'll join us. We'll start at 7 p.m. here in this room. Pastor Aaron will be facilitating, but we'll have several representatives up here, both from this church and from outside of the church. And in case you missed it, remember, we have a celebration today. We have our bounce house ready to go, and we're going to eat some ice cream and go to the garden. But I have one caveat, my friends. I'm looking at you guys. So before we go to the bounce house, we are all going to go out to the garden together. And kids, you guys painted some rocks during VBS. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those rocks and we're going to put them in the garden. So what I need you guys to do, and this is to families as well, families and kids, if you would meet me just outside of the north doors, we can get those rocks to you. You can pick your rocks and we'll bring them to the garden. We'll have a prayer at the garden, and then we will be dismissed to have fun, okay? Give me a thumbs up if that sounds good. Fantastic. All right. We hope that you'll stick around, whether you were part of VBS or not, for at least the garden commissioning, but all are welcome to enjoy in the festivities. Ice cream is free of charge to y'all, so you're welcome. Receive this blessing now. God, as we continue to grow into who you made us to be, may we feel the love of you and your people everywhere we go, everywhere we are able to share. Just like me is who I want to be. Amen.